This man is apparently the next Steve Jobs. Is this the next Steve Jobs? He sure looks like it. And the app in question here is Hey Clicky. If you're not familiar with this app, neither am I. This is what we're here to figure out today. I keep seeing this guy on my feed and I keep hearing he's the next Steve Jobs. It's time we finally investigate this claim. So what I do know, Hey Clicky is an AI app. Really, it's an AI companion app, and its primary benefit is screen awareness. And so we'll start off by going to the website. I do like the design of it. I can move this around, that's cool. Oh, I can move all these around. Here we have a download option for Mac. I'm gonna start downloading the app now so we can test this out live. Again, while we're waiting for this to download. I believe the biggest bottleneck here will probably be screen awareness. It costs more to translate from a screenshot into a tokenized output. Accuracy is a big deal. Think to yourself, right? If I have two windows open and behind one of those windows is another window, there's a chance that it might misinterpret. We're gonna be testing this kind of stuff out. Latency, how much time goes into converting the screen awareness portion into a tokenized output that the LLM can actually make use of. And I think the third one, is it easy to use? Does it just work? And so there are 4 key areas that LLMs often struggle with when it comes to visual inputs. Cognitive failure, in this example, the agent should be working on the second page, but instead it clicks on the thumbnail of the third page. Then we have grounding error. This happens when the agent's target is correct, but the click is slightly off and misses the menu. Visual state misunderstanding. This is when the agent misreads a cell and enters the formula, in this case, total hours instead of total earned. And then D, the user intends to execute a hotkey, Control-Shift-B to create a folder, and ends up toggling the bookmark. And so it's not always contextually aware of which window is in focus. So there's a lot of things they do to mitigate this. One common thing they do is they don't just directly feed in the screenshot, right? When you take a screenshot of your screen, say this is a web page that you're looking at, the screenshot that you take is gonna go through a compaction layer of some sort, right? So on Mac OS especially, you take a screenshot, it's a very high resolution screenshot, condense it down to a much lower resolution, and then they'll also do some operations for tokenizing. One example of this is quad trees. Quad trees have been widely used as compact image representation. Homogeneous regions are represented by large leaves, while visually complex regions are recursively divided into smaller cells. And so they have various tactics to make it an optimal input for the LLM to tokenize. And so Hey Clicky is now downloaded. We're gonna drag this baby in. So now that we have the app installed and up and running, its first question, pick a color. So I'm gonna go with blue. Hi Jordan, I'm Hey Clicky. Give me a home. So I don't know if you can see this on screen, but it is now in my Nock. Okay, so we just completed the CEO introduction. I must say, very cool introduction. It's the first app I've used that uses this top notch here, and I actually quite enjoy it. Let's see what's available with the Pro plan. The Pro plan is $20 a month and you get unlimited talk, unlimited dictation, and 150 messages a month. If you were to go and install something on your computer today, you can do it locally and it'll be just as effective. So I don't think this is a feature. Unlimited talk, I don't think this is a good feature either. Probably not the greatest selling points. 150 agent messages a month, I think this is the big selling point, right? So that's interesting. So they are going with a specific messages amount. Really, it doesn't matter the complexity of your message. They're just going to charge you for the 150 messages. And so I have 5 tests planned, and it will increase in difficulty as we go. The first one will be reviewing an email. This is pretty easy, right? I expect it to do this pretty well. So here I've crafted this email, and I want to see what it translates to.
It's a casual draft to someone at epsteingmail.com saying, "Hey bro," mentioning they're on an island and acting like it's amazing, then asking what the recipient is doing over there, and it ends with "Regards, RJ."
Those DJ. And so I'm gonna now ask it to perform an action and see if it can do so. Change the subject line to "Hey bro, just checking in." Waiting, waiting. Oh no. Uh-oh. Okay. Put it at the end of the email. Some of our likely pitfalls that we predicted. Accuracy is a big one. Latency as well. It took quite a while and it was not accurate. It really struggled there. So it did know we were on Gmail and it still messed that part up. The next task is gonna be much harder. Okay, I'm gonna just say this outright. Blender. Okay, so here we have a Sam Altman mask and I wanna see how it handles Blender. This is gonna be a bit more complex. First thing we're gonna do is highlight the screen.
That app is Blender, a 3D creation tool. In the center, it looks like a 3D object. Probably a sphere or a mask-like mesh with a face image mapped onto it as a texture. It's not a standalone photo. It's being used on the 3D model.
The next step will determine Hey Clicky's benefits. I'm gonna ask it, I'm gonna say, hey, make this into a triangular shape. And I'd expect Hey Clicky to help me along the way. Please help me, actually, no, do this for me. Make this face more triangular. Okay, so it sent an agent, subagent, Okay, so we have the sub agent. It says it's using macOS app control workflow to reshape the selected face in Blender. My only complaint is I have no visual of what's happening right now. I kind of just have to sit here and hope. Also, it truncates the end, so I can't really read everything. Okay, so it's starting to do some stuff now. You can see it moving around. So at this point, it's been about 30 seconds. I can't tell what's happening. I don't know if it's doing anything. Okay, so it tried to enter some data into the search, but that didn't work so well. Zoomed in a bit. That beautiful face. Okay, so unfortunately, it did not achieve the task whatsoever. 0 out of 10. I think when it comes to image recognition, LMs suck already. I think when it comes to tool use like Blender in this way, really, it is not going to be effective. And I didn't expect it to be. Let's, make that clear. I did not expect a high score here, right? This is meant to be really a hard task. All right, next task. So here I have a very basic game engine. It's kind of an engine that I made based on RuneScape. And so the way the cube moves is very much in RuneScape fashion. And there's also a right click to walk here, and we can connect multiple clients. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And so if we right click the opposite player, we're given an option to follow, which does, as you would expect, puts it in a follow position where it can then follow the cube. And so Hey Clicky is going to have a hard time here, right? I would say this is harder than Blender because really there is no training data for this type of a workload case. And so we'll start by just having this one window open. We'll highlight it and then we'll tell it what to do. Here we have a video game where I am the cube on the right. I need you to right click the cube on the left and select follow.
I'll take care of that for you. I can't directly click in that game window from here. I can guide you to the left orange cube, and you'd only need to right click it and choose follow. It's the orange cube.
What do I need to do to ensure that you can do this?
I can't directly click inside that game window from this answer only link.
I don't have hands. I need you to do it for me. So it feels like, if you want it to do any task for you, it really takes a long time. And 150 messages a month, I've already probably used at least 10 to 15 and I haven't accomplished anything yet. So nothing is happening still and I'm about to just cancel it. I'm gonna go ahead and cancel it. I don't wanna be here all day. Overall, it failed. Now I don't know why. Maybe this is something that I am doing wrong. It did seem to do a good job of highlighting the cube when I asked about it, and it did show me to right click and highlight. Quite good at telling you what to do, but not necessarily handling it for you. And so I'm gonna give it another chance, this time with that in mind. I am the cube on the right. If I left click the cube on the left, it'll allow me to follow it by selecting the option in the context window. Please guide me to perform that operation. See, this is very cool. It does a good job of highlighting things that I asked about. Custom game, it did okay. I think it really was terrible when it came to actually performing anything. I would give this one a 5 out of 10 though. It did do a very good job of highlighting and telling me what to do. And so if you focus on just that portion, it did a good job there. It did better than it did in the reviewing of an email portion. And so the last test we're gonna run here, and I know we listed 5, but I realized I only have 4. So we're doing 4 tests. These are pre-planned tests that I have. We're gonna have it explain a YouTube comment. All right, this is a very simple task, actually simpler than the ones prior. Here we have some YouTube comments. I want you to explain in summary what their sentiment is.
Overall, the sentiment is mixed, but leans negative or skeptical. A couple of comments sound neutral or matter of fact, but several are disappointed, critical, or suspicious about companies, models, or motives, and there's a bit of sarcasm and pushback in the replies.
But we're gonna make it a bit more challenging. And how are we gonna do that? We're gonna do it by adding some confusion. Now let's give it a layered task. Let's say I have a window in front of it. Go to the YouTube page and summarize the comments for me.
Okay. Let me check that page and pull out the overall tone of the comments. Which YouTube video do you mean? If you paste the link or say the title, I can open it and work through the comments to summarize the overall sentence.
I have a YouTube tab open in one of my windows. Go to it and summarize the comment.
Okay. Let me switch and take a closer look at that YouTube tab before I describe the comments. I've started a background pass to open the YouTube tab and read through the comments. When it finishes, I'll give you the overall sentiment and the key themes I find.
This is taking forever.
Got it. And that explains it. You're on the YouTube home feed, so there aren't any video comments to summarize yet. Open a specific video, and I can summarize its comments.
Okay, so it doesn't take the initiative of doing that for you right away. And so that was kind of what I was hoping it would do, right? I kind of want it to be able to do that. But as we've seen, it's not very good at doing things for us. And so I could see where that's coming from. Overall, I would give this an 8 out of 10. It did a good job when I had it open. I kind of wish it would put some initiative in. Is this the next Steve Jobs caliber app? Things I liked about it. User experience. I must say I really liked the onboarding flow. I do enjoy the feeling of pressing Control and Option and instantly being granted with a voice assistant. I like the use of the bump at the top, and so I think this is a very good thing. I think it has a very nice, simple UI. I haven't been confused. Things I don't like though. It seems to suck at performing operations, at least in the examples we just tested. I think it's good enough at basic stuff, like if I asked it to, go to a different tab. But personally, the only benefit I see of this is using it for things that I'm not good at, which would often involve a pretty complex operation, right? We saw in Blender, it really couldn't do anything, and it was confident about it. We saw that in my custom game, I couldn't even get it to do anything at all, which, maybe absolutely this could be user error, but this is a common case for me. This is what I would use it for. And so I didn't feel this was very well achieved. There is some element of fluff to it that I don't like. I don't like how the voice assistant takes forever, right? This, for the operations we just tested, I had it running for a solid 45 seconds, minute, doing something that turned into nothing with Blender. And this is really just a downfall of LLMs and not necessarily Hey Clicky. But again, this is something that is part of your product. And so I have to make that comment there. But overall, I think Hey Clicky as a user experience is actually pretty cool. And so I think a lot of this involves them working on the middle layer, the harness, the in-between portions of the app. There is an absolute cost that comes with screen awareness. We've seen that with the accuracy, and unfortunately, we can't really compare token cost because I don't have a subscription. But I can tell you right now, there is a higher token cost when it comes to screenshots. There's a lot of conversion that goes in, as we've discussed, into tokenizing this output. And so that is a drawback. I hope this app does well. I hope they improve it. I will probably try again someday in the future. I think for very basic tasks, it's pretty cool and it could work. Personally, I would rather them change this to be completely and only be drawing on your screen and teaching you part. I think it shouldn't even have the option of doing things for you. I think they're wasting their time on that part, and it really just kind of ruins the entire user experience when you try it and it sucks. I think that the drawing portion is actually pretty cool, and it's simple, and it works a lot better. And I'll finish by reading the mission statement. Steve Jobs, aka Farza: "We all have access to the same AI models, yet very few of us unlock their full power. We just believe it's an interface problem. We want to take the same frontier models everyone else is using and make it so this technology can break out of uninspired chat interfaces and clunky terminals." I will give it that. I think it has a really cool user experience. We're trying to figure out the AI interface the next billion people will use. It's early. Try out what we have today and let me know what you think. Right? It is early, and that's why I'm okay with giving this a pretty positive opinion. Right? I think it's a pretty good app. It has some work to do. I think there's a place for it, and I hope it does well. I hope they work on some of these things that I had an issue with. Now, again, these were pretty tough tasks, let's be honest. But we'll see. Clearly their marketing is working. It's pretty much everywhere on Twitter, so they have a good chance here. I think they've got the user experience down pretty pat. Until they fix these, I personally am not gonna use Hey Clicky. Bye-bye.